Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in. Welcome in. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Today is November the 3rd, 2022. This is Cashed It with Chris, the NBA betting podcast slash show. Uh, and as always, man, it's presented by the Basketball Forever Podcast Network. You guys can see the banner if you're watching over on YouTube. Man, we got a lot to talk about. We got a small slate today, but we got a lot to talk about in general, man. There's a lot that happened last night. As always, I like to start the show with a quick recap of what I played yesterday, what I gave out, and and how the day went. And it wasn't the greatest day, man. It was not the greatest day, and that's what you typically see on these big slates. Shout out to everybody who did have a really profitable day a really profitable day yesterday. I went 2-3 overall. I didn't give out anything yesterday on the morning show, but if you tuned into the NBA Crispy Captain show at 5:15 Eastern time, I gave out Maxi over 22 and a half points. That was an easy one. He covered that. As soon as I got the news about Joel Embiid not being in, that was an easy play. Easy play on Maxi to go over his 22 and a half. He's cleared that number now 7 games in a row without Embiid. So Maxi over 22 and a half was an easy cash. Then I gave out the Knicks, which I was really confident in. Man. And they looked good early. Ended up getting smacked up. They had a 10-point third quarter. Scored less than 32 points, I think, in the second half of the game. This the Knicks that I'm used to. That's the Knicks that I'm used to. We know Atlanta was going to take that game extremely serious just because of the way the playoffs went last year and just the history. Well, not even last year, but the play-in game from a couple years ago, the history of the teams. And shout out to Atlanta for bouncing back after a 30-point loss. I like the Knicks yesterday, just from a travel perspective, just from a totality perspective. But they look trash. They beat themselves a lot of turnovers. Didn't have the rebounding advantage, and you saw Atlanta just wanted more. DeJounte Murray turned up. He's a dog. I think he finished the game with like 6 steals. But I don't want to talk about the Knicks. That's a terrible way to start your morning. Then I also gave out the Pelicans. Watched that game from start to finish, and that was a terrible way to lose. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Dyson Daniels actually got fouled going to the free throw line up by 3 points with 4 seconds left, needing to hit one of the free throws to cover and put the game away, and he missed both. And Matt Ryan for the Lakers off the bench hits a 3-pointer to send the game to overtime, and the rest is history. Pelicans, Lakers don't look back, and that's exactly why I don't bet against my team, because it's really hard to figure these guys out. When I gave the play out, though, I did think that Herb Jones was going to play. Neither here nor there. They should have won the game without him, but he didn't play, and we saw the Pelicans look terrible. They were shooting a 3-point ball worse than the Lakers do. So, tough beat there. Then I also tweeted out and I added the Cavs plus 1.5 and Charlotte plus 6, taking 2 dogs. The Cavs, they cover yet again, even with Garland back in the lineup. I thought that might throw off the rotation just a tad bit, which is what made me a little hesitant. But the Cavs look good, man. They look really, really good. And then Charlotte plus a 6, they did not show up. They might as well stay in Charlotte yesterday. They came out and put up a really good fight early, but the Bulls defense stifled them, and I didn't see that coming. I thought Charlotte would be able to keep that one close, especially the Cavs, especially with the Bulls being on back-to-back, a road home back-to-back at that after beating Brooklyn on Tuesday night. So, like I said, overall 2-3 day, not the most productive day after having a 3-0 day. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to limit the plays. It was a lot of other things that I liked that I didn't, give out officially, or, just didn't take and kind of stayed on the sidelines for. But that's the way that yesterday went, man. Not the greatest day ever. What y'all on in the chat, man? Appreciate y'all for being here with me. What up, Jew? JR Sports. Ish, what's going on, my brother? Jason said Hornets missing those 2 free throws to kill the first quarter money line play. Shaking my head. What up, Akbar? My VA brother. What's going on, bro? Trey hurt my heart last night. Yeah, Trey got poked. His eye didn't look good at all. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. DJ, what's going on, my brother? DeJounte in the Garden. DeJounte turned up yesterday, man. We should have looked at some DeJounte props. The books knew it too. Because Trey went under, DeJounte went over in every statistical category. Akbar said the Knicks are banned. That's a fact. Got to get off the Knicks, man. Got to get off the Knicks for right now. Zachariah said, why Mitchell Rob Mitchell ain't play after the third? He was 2 points away from a double-double plus 450. Shaking my head. Vegas wicked. Yeah, Vegas is wicked. Vegas is wicked, bro. Vegas is wicked. What up, Si? What up, my brother? What up, bro? Morning, Chris. Lakers ATS first quarter might be a cash cow this year. Can't seem to cover it. Yeah, that's a fact. I actually played it last night. I didn't tweet it out. Just end up playing it too late, but I did hit on the spread was 0.5 for the Pelicans. So if you want to fade the Lakers, they haven't covered a first quarter spread all season. I think the differential in the first quarter for the Lakers is minus 5.6. And the differential for the Pelicans is actually plus 5.6. So to me, that seemed like an easy play. So I did play that. I probably should have gave it out. Curry got to hit them points today. Warriors got a rebound right today. Cover 7 of the last 9 times against Magic. I got 2 props that I like. Curry, Draymond over 5.5 assists. Michael Porter Jr. Oh, y'all firing off plays. What up, LJ? LJ said, what up, Chris? Went 7-1 in props, but 2-6 on size. Yeah, props seem like the way to go, man. If you can avoid the injuries, LJ, it seemed like the way to go. But let's talk about today. Ape Gang Fat B said he on Curry over 26.5 points. I couldn't talk you off. Let's get into today's card, man. Let's talk about today's card. So first game up, we only got 2 games today, as you guys probably know. So the pod probably will be just a tad bit shorter, but we'll talk about them. The first game up, we got the Golden State Warriors, man. We got the Warriors. They're in Orlando today. Spread in this one opened at 7.5. Immediately got pushed up to 8. And the total in this one opened at 226.5, and the total has stayed about the same so far. We haven't seen a lot of movement with the total at all, and it's probably because it's really difficult right now to figure out when the Golden State Warriors plan on playing some defense, because they haven't recently. They haven't. You could say that their defense stepped up in the last game, but that was a fast-paced game until the fourth quarter, and it kind of slowed down in the fourth quarter when they lost to the Miami Heat. So now they come into this game with one day's rest. This will be their 4th straight road game. They're 0-4 ATS on the road, 0-4 straight up on the road, only 3-5 on the season, which is tremendous. That's a crazy stat. On the opposite side, you get Orlando. They're coming in here off the loss in OKC, so this will be their first game back with some travel in that game as well. Neither one of these teams are in the best rest spot, even though they both were off yesterday. Orlando comes into this game 2-0 ATS and 2-0 straight up at home. They had the absolute beatdown of the Charlotte Hornets last week at home, and then they also they covered against the Boston Celtics when they were at home as well. So this team plays well at home, you know. And if you look at the head-to-head matchup, Orlando did beat Golden State last year. They beat them 94-90 outright as 7.5-point dogs, and that game went under. Total was at 216, and it went under. Then Golden State beat, absolutely smacked them up in Golden State last year in December, 126-125. Orlando beat them again though last February, 124-120 in Orlando. So Orlando plays them well when they're at home. They've actually not only covered but won the last 2 games outright in Orlando. And if you go back even further, they've won the last 3 games in Orlando, dating all the way back to 2019. Orlando plays well and they get up for this game. The problem with that is that on the opposite side, you get a Golden State team that's fired up. These guys are going to be really, really frustrated tonight, and I think they're going to take out some of their frustration on Orlando Magic. The Warriors are coming into this one, like I talked about, 3 straight losses, all on the road. It's a 5-game road trip for them, and this is their 4th game in 6 nights. Tomorrow, they actually play in New Orleans, right? So the Pelicans will fly back home. Probably if they didn't last night, they'll fly back home this morning, and then they'll be getting ready for the Golden State Warriors tomorrow. As far as injury wise in this one, I don't think that there's not anything that impacts the Golden State Warriors. On the opposite side, you do get Cole Anthony. He's listed as questionable. Terrence Ross also went out in that last game. He's questionable with a knee injury. And then, of course, the long list of guys that haven't played yet: Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris, Mo Wagner, and Markelle Fultz are still on the injury list as well. What I'm looking at in this game, and I don't know what you guys are thinking, I'm looking at props as far as rebounds go. I also think Golden State come out here early and try to put this game away, especially knowing that they play on the second night of a back-to-back. And then we've seen the Magic, really struggle to score, right? But we've also seen the Golden State Warriors defense look really bad in the middle. Every center that the Golden State Warriors have played against have covered their point prop this year so far. That's a really interesting stat. Going back to Bam Adebayo the other day, looking at a guy like even Isaiah Stewart the other day, Plumlee the other day when they played against Charlotte. So that's a tad bit scary. I'm looking at Golden State to come out here and punch early. I think the first half spreads you can get at like 4.5. That's where I'll be looking in this one. I think that I don't trust Golden State's second unit, so I don't want to play the first quarter. But I do think that they have a pretty sizable advantage at halftime, just based on the eye test, right? You get a Magic team that's coming back in here. Of course, they'll be fired up for this game. Golden State's the defending champion, so they're going to get everybody best shot. And as far as the total goes, I think I'd actually look towards the under. I expect Golden State to try to turn it up defensively, and especially against a Magic team that's lacking a true point guard right now. Jalen Suggs came back in that game, but he played off the bench, and they probably will try to integrate him back into the game slowly. So that's why I'd be looking. I'd be looking towards an under, maybe even a first half under, and I'd be looking towards laying the points with the Warriors early in this game. I don't know what that translates to towards the second half of the game, but I do expect the Warriors to get their first road win and go all out too, because the Warriors will play in New Orleans tomorrow. Honestly, I think that's a tank spot. I don't think that they're gonna play the starters tomorrow. I think you sell out tonight for the win, and then you rest the starters tomorrow against the Pelicans in the second night of a back-to-back. That'll also be a third game in 4 nights, and that'll be a fifth game in 8 nights. So I think the starters probably rest tomorrow, and Golden State sells out tonight. What you guys think about that in the chat? Let's see what y'all on. Everyone is going to be on Curry like 2 days ago. Then he sells like Trey. A lot of people probably will be on Steph, but I don't think you can fade him though. I'm not playing him, but I don't think you can fade him. Big Denalo said Wendell Carter Jr. over 25.5 points and rebounds. I can see it. Warriors allowing the second most points to teams at 121.25 per game. Tune, that's a fact. Their defense looks terrible, but this Magic team struggles to score. And they have played against some teams that can score the ball. DJ said Warriors are 0-4 in the last 4 on the road versus the Magic as well. Yep. Sometimes the tide got to turn, man. It got to turn, and I think that this could be it tonight. Wiggins over 1.5 threes. Golden State first quarter. Okay, I can see that. Markel said, I'm on Michael Porter threes, and I'm looking at Jordan Poole props. Okay. Magic team total for the first quarter under 27.5. And Akbar said Pelicans going to be pissed off tomorrow. Yeah, Pelicans are going to be pissed off. They should be pissed off tomorrow. And it wasn't that they wasn't playing, good defense. It was more so their offense looked terrible, man. I was looking at that starting lineup when it got announced last night, and I'm like, Trey Murphy, Najee Marshall, I don't really know how I feel about that. They had really big performance last night from Jose Alvarado. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but Alvarado was balling. He had a couple assists, hit a couple key jumpers to bring them back when they was down by like 10 in that game. So yeah, I know this segment isn't about the New Orleans Pelicans, but Brandon Ingram, of course, they say he's progressing. He was, diagnosed with, I don't even know if he was diagnosed, but he hasn't played because of, concussion protocol from, it feels like forever. I think it was the beginning of last week when they were playing against the New Orleans Pelican. They were playing against the Utah Jazz. Him and I think it was Najee Marshall ran into each other, and he didn't come back in after the first quarter. So he didn't go on that 3-game road trip out west, but he will probably be playing. In my estimation, I think Brandon Ingram will probably play tomorrow. So I do expect the Pelicans to thump the Golden State Warriors tomorrow. We'll talk about that one tomorrow, but that'll be what I'd be looking at. As far as this game, like I said, I'd be looking at Golden State early, and I'd also be looking at the under. I also think rebound props for the big guys have to be in play. Guys like Draymond Green rebounds, guys like Kevon Looney, because the Warriors don't have but so many bigs. So Looney's going to have to play really big minutes. We know that the Orlando Magic have trees down low, right? They have guys like Bo, guys like Wendell Carter Jr., even Wagner, like Wagner. Like these guys are like they have really, really big guys. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Man, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody, but they got some trees down low. So that's how I'd be looking at that game. Moving along to the next game. Let's see which I got real quick before I move on to the next game. Akbar said nothing went their way yesterday. It was crazy. McCollum needs to get it together, man. It's crazy. DJ said, I like the Magic first half, then Warriors third quarter spread. Spaces later. Yeah, it will be a show later, DJ, for sure. I just think that, based on the Golden State Warriors, I know the Warriors don't typically play the greatest basketball in the first half, and they typically turn it on in the third quarter. I just think that they turn up in this spot. I think the Warriors turn up in this spot and actually, get their defense together against a struggling offense in Orlando. So that's the way I'll be looking in this one. I know Orlando will give them their best shot, though. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think Golden State will be the more motivated team in this spot for sure. Remy said, I'm taking Paolo 20 points and Golden State. Golden State's giving up to the power forward position. Okay. Coming in later, I'm on Smart. I was on Smart assist over 5.5. That hurt. Oh man. Montreal, good morning. Good morning, Armstrong. Appreciate y'all being here. Draymond went over 5.5 assists, 4 for 5 last game in Orlando. Yeah, I could see that. I think Draymond has a big game today. I don't want to touch his points, but I was looking at his points plus assists plays as well. So yeah. And Frank said analytics never take motivation into account. That's a fact, Frank. One of the things I was looking at was, first of all, when you say this, Frank, it immediately makes me think about the Atlanta Hawks. I ran so many SDQLs, so many trends yesterday that actually backed the Knicks, but it wasn't none, like you said, none of it had anything to do with analytics, right? Everything had to do with what the stats said based on what was going on at that time, and then you see, the more motivated team, the Atlanta Hawks, coming off a 30-point smackdown in Toronto, and they fought back, was down 18-20 early in that game, and come all the way back and win that game by double digits. So you're right, Frank. Analytics never take motivation into account. Motivation got to be looked at first, then analytics, right? I just didn't like the spot for Atlanta either. But same thing in this spot, right? Golden State should be the more motivated team. They started the season off 0-4. And they've played hard in their last game. They were really trying to come out. They put forth the effort that they needed to in the first two games, in the losses to Detroit and the losses to Charlotte, right? But then you see them kind of, not be able to turn it on late. So, bad calls didn't go their way. Jordan Poole getting a lot of carries. Steph didn't get the foul call where he felt like he should have been fouled. So, yeah, man. Anthony said, thanks for the knowledge, Chris. Absolutely, bro. That's what I do it for, man. Try to make everybody more informed bettors, so we're not just throwing our money away and we actually winning. Markel said, would you lean Kevon Looney rebound props under? Nah, I would not lean under. I think Kevon Looney has to play big minutes in this game because Orlando has a lot of big bodies, man. So that's what I would be looking at. Taking his rebound prop probably over. Looney will need to play big in this game for sure. Let's move on, though, because I'm actually 20 minutes in and I ain't even touched the second game yet. So let's move on. Let's get to the second game. So second game up, we got and if you guys are watching on YouTube, man, hit the like button for me. If you're watching on Twitter and you want to come over and leave some comments, you can hit the YouTube link. It's in my bio. So subscribe to the channel as well if you guys haven't already. I'm doing this every single morning, 7 a.m. during the week, and then on the weekends at 9 a.m. So check your boy out. Also doing the evening show, 5:15 Eastern time every single day, NBA Crispy Captain Show. All right, enough promotions. Get back to the game. So next game up in the last game of the day is the Denver Nuggets actually heading to Oklahoma City. They're laying 6 points in this game. Total opened up at 229.5. and this will be a difficult game to cap. I will tell you guys off the rip, it's really hard, really hard to not to fade OKC right now. OKC's 4-3, but they're 6-1 against the spread. These guys have not been looking bad at all. They've been looking really good. On the opposite hand, you get a Denver Nuggets team they're struggling. They're also 4-3, and they're only 1-3 on the road ATS wise, 3-4 overall. Right, so they will have the rest advantage. Denver hasn't played a game of basketball since they played the Lakers, and that was actually on the 30th. So you could say a little rusty. They had the first off, the second, and now they won't play again until the third. That game was in LA, so now they travel from LA to OKC, which they've probably been there already. They do have the major rest advantage because OKC did just play on the first against Orlando. But OKC, man, these guys are coming off 4 straight wins. This team looks motivated. They got Josh Giddey back. And I think that they're going to tank, but you won't be able to tell these starters. It won't be until, for me, I don't think this team will tank until they actually don't get a chance to play. When they start resting guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, that's when I think this team will start to, lose games. But these guys aren't out there to lose, man. 4 straight wins, back-to-back wins against the Clippers last week. Then they go to Dallas and win in overtime, super impressive win, and a come from behind win against Orlando when they were losing that game by 9 or 10 points in the third quarter. So hats off to these guys. They've covered 4 spreads in a row, only didn't cover 1 spread. That was against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they didn't cover by 1 point. So, I mean, the Nuggets for me are not a buy-on team right now. Injury-wise, nobody is affected in this game. Bones Highland didn't play in that last game against the Lakers, but he's listed as probable. But Denver isn't a buy-on team right now. Their defense doesn't look good at all. They're ranked 24th, giving up 111 points, 117 points a game. They're allowing teams to shoot 47% from the field, which ranks 24th. And they're not doing a good job of covering the three either. Teams are shooting 37% from three against them as well, which ranks 23rd. OKC on the opposite hand, their defense is ranked 11th. They're defending the 3-point ball at a top 5% in the league, and they're actually doing everything except rebounding the ball. What I'll be looking at in this game is probably some Jokic props. The reason why I say Jokic is because these guys haven't gelled yet. And when I say these guys, I'm talking about Michael Porter Jr., I'm talking about Jamal Murray. I do think that Denver is a better version of themselves than what we've seen so far. But I'd be looking at OKC to cover this spread. They've covered every spread this season so far. That's been 9 points or more, and now you get a line that's sitting at 6, and they're at home. We know that OKC struggles on the interior, so maybe you look at Jokic's rebounds, and if you want to play that, you probably want to put it in. You want to put it in early. But yeah, that's the way I'd be looking in this one, man. I think OKC, they're gonna fight to the end, and I don't trust Denver's defense at all. So I'd be looking at OKC to be able to cover this spread, man. These guys are playing extremely hard. I also have to look at guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA's been balling, and Denver has nobody that can stop him. Denver has nobody on that team that can stop SGA. So that's why I'd be looking in this one. Let's see. Historically, when you look at these two teams, Denver has won the last 2 games, and they've won 3 of the last 5. OKC has won outright 2 times on a 15.5 point cover. I'm sorry, a 15.5 point as a 15.5 point dog and a 6.5 point dog. OKC, surprisingly enough, has covered the last 5 games against the Denver Nuggets. Last 5 games. So that's where I'd be looking, man. Matt Stoney said a Jokic triple-double in the first game they played against OKC. Akbar said in a 2-game slate, people have more picks than 10-game slates. If he's healthy, it's tough not to take SGA points every single time. That's a fact. Until they start setting it at 30, you got it. You almost just got to play it every single time. Tunde said Jokic rebounds. That's where I was looking. My guy SGA points coming back. Yeah, for sure. And then Remy said Joker might be on a triple-double watch if he can get the assists and rebounds. Most definitely will be there against OKC. Yeah, I like it, man. You don't really see anything come up on the injury report, like I said. So, it shouldn't be too much of value either for these guys. But yeah, that's what we got, man. 25 minutes in the books, almost 26 minutes in the books. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the videos if you're new. Tell a friend to tell a friend, like I always say. Nothing official that I'm giving out right now. I'm gonna take a little deeper dive into these games, figure out exactly how I want to play them, let the line start to open up. I didn't even see first half spreads when I looked earlier, and that's what I said I was looking at towards for Golden State early in that one. And then, like I said, Jokic props in the second game, but the Nuggets probably to cover. Denver defense just isn't strong enough to me. They're not a buy on team right now. I'll be looking towards the Thunder to kind of keep it going. I know that's probably, I don't know if that's contrarian or not because I haven't talked to anybody about the games, but that's the way I'd be looking, man. So yeah, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the videos if you haven't already. And that's what I got for you guys today. The only other thing I wanted to mention was none of this is financial consultation. It's theory, it's statistics, it's logic, and it's analytics. Use your best judgment when you're placing your bets and bet with your head, not over it. Best of luck to you guys on all your bets for the day. Appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Until we meet again, 5:15 Eastern time for the NBA Crispy Kappa Show. Y'all be good, man. Have a great day.